Hello, Rebecca McLaughlin here. I have decided to do another update, especially because I have some news. I got a new bookshelf. Look at that, look at that. Look at this, it's so gorgeous, so beautiful. I'm sure I don't have any other news. All right, you got me. I got a new couch too. Okay. My cover reveal has a date now. On July 9th, the cover of Nameless Queen will be shared with the world. I'll be posting it everywhere you can post things, maybe even like physically on trees. That's a good way to reach the core audience I'm looking for, right? Tree posting. I am so excited to be able to share it. And in fact, they are right here on my shelf, behind the knife, under the notebook, next to the markers. Those are my advanced copies. And come next week, 1 week from today, I will be able to share the glorious cover with you. It's so gorgeous that I'm going to give you some hints about what it's going to look like. Okay, so just like last time, there's gonna be 3 things I cover in this video. 1, a little bit of insight into my writing process. Today, I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about outlining. 2, I'm gonna share some news about Nameless Queen. That's when I'll give you the hints about the cover reveal. And 3, what was 3? And 3, I'll give you a little bit of info about what I'm working on right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and share the cover reveal information now because I just can't wait. So, the cover. Well, if I'm going to talk about the cover, I have to look at the cover. Is it off screen? Whew, it's a little too close, guys. A little too close. So the crazy thing is that I get to hold an advanced copy in my hands. Redacted, don't look. That's a secret. No. And some of these are out in the world right now, which is terrifying because that means people will read it. Which is exciting. I promise it's exciting. It's also terrifying. All right, let me hold it just off screen. The cover. First thing to know about the cover is that it went through some iterations, and I got to see some of the drafts for the version I have right now. The weird thing is that they went through a whole other version before they got to this one, and I didn't even get to see that one. I'm gonna give you 3 hints about the cover. Hint number 1, it's very atmospheric. It's not, so take from that what you will. Hint number 2, they went back and forth on what the lettering for the title should look like, and they finally settled on a shiny, shiny gold. It's got kind of like a metallic glint to it, and I'm in love. This is definitely like a little serif-y, which means it's got like those feet. If you don't really know a lot about fonts, then this part of the conversation sounds real weird. And thirdly, they spelled my name correctly. This is important. On some of the drafts of the cover that I saw, my name was not spelled correctly. It had a couple extra letters in it, and it also had a missing letter, but they got it right. And here's the important part. My last name is McLaughlin. The thing about McLaughlin is an Irish name. Typically the C is a little baby C. And it was a surprise to me that on the final cover, they actually did put that in a slightly smaller case, as opposed to the original final version I saw where it was just all capitals. I'm not grumpy either way. It's my name. If it's spelled correctly, that was the big thing for me. Excellent. But it was so funny because when I showed it to my dad and my uncle, my dad's first comment was, oh, I see they got the C correct. It doesn't resonate quite as strongly with me as it does with them, partly because my name is Rebecca, but I often go by nicknames, and I will respond to things that sound kind of like my name, which is how I got an unfortunate nickname in college where my friends were calling me Rafiki because someone said Rafiki, but I thought they said Rebecca, or like Becky, or like Rebecca. So I, What does you want from me? And they were like, we were talking about the Lion King, but that's you now. All of that to say, names are important, and the way the name of the book, Nameless Queen, appears on the cover is gorgeous. And everything about it, I'm just so excited to share. Has this been long enough me gushing about the cover since I can't show it to you? The next thing I want to do is talk a little bit about writing process. And I want to talk about writing an outline. So for my first book, Nameless Queen, that is getting published, I did not write an outline at all. I knew the general arc that I wanted. I knew the big plot twist points. I knew a little bit about the main character and what drove her as a person, but I didn't outline to a fine level of detail. And this resulted in, I won't call them problems exactly, but it had some consequences. One of those consequences was that the first draft was over 140,000 words long. which is very long, about 50% too long. And the revisions that I did, I ended up doing on the book. I ended up rewriting 80% of the book at least once. It was a challenge, and one of the things that really solidified the revisions and got me to the final product where I am today is that my editor asked me to do an outline to get rid of a couple things that were causing problems and to bring a solution to the table. I did that. It really helped me rewrite most of the book, and the final product was just so much cleaner, so much neater. So now I'm outlining my second book. It wasn't a requirement from my editor to do that. What it's going to do is it's really going to minimize rework. It's like a proof of concept. So it's also saying not only do I have a good premise for a story, but I also have a good proof that it will work. An outline is a really good roadmap to get you there. You prove to yourself what the story is, and then as you're writing and as you're growing the characters, as you're developing the world, those things may change, but it really gives you a core line to follow. So it can help keep you on track and focused. So the method I'm using to outline is 24 chapters. And there's about a half to a whole page of description for each chapter. And the great thing about doing a 24 chunk outline is that it's really divisible, just in terms from a math standpoint. If you want to plan out your book in 2 acts, you've got 12 chapters and 12 chapters. If you want to do the classic 3-act structure, you've got 8, 16 to 24. And if you want to do a 4-act structure, you've got 6, 12, 18, 24. So it's really divisible in a lot of ways. So you can both say, hey, what's my midpoint of the story? And then what's my 3-act structure? Where is this arc happening? And is it happening at the right time and place? And I'm finding that really useful. So just getting through the outline was an experience. And it took me like a month at least. It might have taken me 2 months, I'm not sure. That was hard for me because that whole time I kept thinking, oh, I could be writing it right now. Why am I writing an outline which may not even work? Well, that's the same logic. Why would I write something that I'm not even sure is going to work? That's way more work than an outline. So I started out the 24 in a 3x8 grid, and that gave me sort of the 3 major points of the story. So you spend the first third doing a lot of world building, character building. You spend the second third really getting into the grit of the problem. You start to see characters change, some drastic shifts or plot twists. And then the last third is just this run up towards the climax, where you're doubling down on the escalation all the way up until the climax and then the resolution. I was mad because there was a car, but then I cracked my neck and that was very nice. I have found this to be a very interesting experience, and I am very likely going to do it for future books that I write. That transitions quite nicely into part 3, what I'm working on right now. So obviously my outline is with my editor right now, but that doesn't stop me from working on the book anyway. I feel like a bit of a rebel, but I feel pretty good about the outline, and even if my editor comes back with suggestions or questions, chances are it'll take some considerations, some modifications, and I can keep using what I've written already. There is the chance, of course, that she says, all of this is terrible, throw it away, light it on fire, send it into the stars in a smoke balloon. What? I lost track of that. But basically, there is a chance that it all gets scrapped. But I'm also okay with that, because even if I don't use the words I've written so far, I've gotten to experience a bit more of the main character, a bit more of the world, and those things won't go away no matter what happens to the story itself. It's been difficult writing a second book after a first book. So, of course, my final book here is very polished. I worked on this book for, oh my god, like 4 years, 5 years now? Yeah, okay, 5 years. Coming up in 5 years here soon. And so I know those characters front and back. I know the world front and back. I know everything at a level that doesn't even exist in the book. I understand and can write those characters for days. But this new book is a stranger to me. The characters are strangers. The world is a strange place. And I have to really spend some time with those people and with that place to really understand it and shape it and build it. So even if I end up scrapping some of the things I'm working on right now, which I hope I don't, it's all an exercise in getting me into this new world, into this new place with these new people, to see what their journeys are and to write that story. I am going to release a video 1 week from today sharing my screams of joy and maybe some more behind the scenes info on the cover, because in 1 week, again, is the cover reveal for Nameless Queen. So when that happens, I will be screeching throughout the entire workday at my office, and I'll be sharing the cover on all social medias, and I will include the links to my social medias down below in the description of this video. So you can go follow me there, and you'll see the cover as soon as I share it. And what else? I'm still getting the hang of decorating my bookshelf here. I've got some books, some flowers, some candles, some knives, you know, the core components of my soul. But please do keep an eye out for next week's video when I share a bit more about the cover, and I'll share it here too. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to share more. What more can you ask for? I'm hungry now though. I should go get some food. You know what I want? Peanut butter. Yep, that's gonna happen. I gotta go. Bye!